When we think of Adele, what immediately comes to mind is that bone-shaking voice, those songs that seem written with a still bleeding heart, and that disarming sincerity that has made her one of the most beloved artists on the planet. But behind that loud laugh, that authenticity that pierces through screens and microphones, there's also a woman with very clear opinions, and not always kind ones. Adele doesn't beat around the bush. If she doesn't like something, you know it. If someone rubs her the wrong way, she rarely hides it. In the music world, where many choose not to voice opinions for convenience or fear of ruining relationships, Adele occasionally lets her contempt show, or to be more accurate, her outright dislike. Today we're talking about 3 artists that, according to multiple sources, she simply can't stand. And we're not talking about minor names. These are 3 of the most famous artists in the world. Before we begin, I just ask you to subscribe to the channel to support me. That's all you need to do. Come on, be kind. Let's start with someone who made millions of teenagers around the world go crazy, but apparently gives Adele hives: Justin Bieber. The two have never exchanged direct insults on camera, but there have been jabs, whispered remarks picked up by the right ears, and a series of situations that leave little room for doubt. According to those who've worked with her for years, Adele sees Justin Bieber as the perfect example of a manufactured artist. Someone who didn't pay his dues, who never wrote songs by candlelight in smoky London bars, who never cried backstage before stepping on stage. She earned every note with sweat. In her eyes, Bieber was packaged, polished, and sold. And that, to her, is an insult to art. In a private conversation with other singer-songwriters, when they were discussing his artistic maturation, Adele reportedly said, "You can't mature something that never existed. Authenticity isn't something you plan in a marketing campaign." Boom. But it's not just about the manufactured career. It's also about how Bieber behaves on stage. Adele firmly believes that an artist should sing live, move people, bring their voice and heart to the audience. When she saw Bieber perform using backing tracks or even lip-syncing, she supposedly commented, "That's not singing, it's karaoke with a bigger budget." And she wasn't joking. Another revealing episode back in 2015, when they were both promoting albums, a shared manager reportedly tried to arrange a meeting between them, maybe for a promotional photo. Adele's answer? A firm, "No thanks. What would we even talk about? I write songs about my life. He sings ones written by others." Pretty clear. And if you think she was too harsh on Bieber, wait until you hear what she thinks of Taylor Swift. This time, the issue isn't poor performance or an artificial career. It's something more subtle, the way someone builds and presents their image to the world. Adele is the opposite of polished perfection. She swears, laughs loudly, gets emotional. Taylor, on the other hand, in Adele's view, is a marketing machine. Everything is calculated, studied, packaged to appeal. During the 2012 Grammy season, when both were nominated, someone reportedly overheard Adele sarcastically commenting on Taylor's repeated, surprised face every time she won an award. If you win that often, at least learn to look less surprised. The wide-eyed act gets old. Not gratuitous malice, but a clear annoyance with what she perceives as performing. Then there's the love songs issue. Adele writes raw, profound songs born from real, often painful relationships. What bothers her, according to some members of her team, is the idea that someone can date a person for 2 months and then turn that into an entire album, as if we're talking about marketing, not real emotions. At some point, you're not processing a feeling anymore, you're manufacturing content, she reportedly said during a team meeting. A harsh accusation. And when in 2021 Taylor announced she would re-record her old albums, Adele apparently wasn't thrilled. During a radio interview, when asked about Taylor's strategy, she supposedly rolled her eyes and muttered something like, "How about writing new music instead?" And although that part of the interview was cut, some people present said the message was clear. But perhaps the most subtle, and also the most cutting remark came during a famous Vogue interview in 2022. When asked which current artist she would like to collaborate with, Taylor Swift was among the suggested names. Adele replied very diplomatically, but her words left little room for doubt. "I think our styles are too different. Some voices just don't blend well, and I believe that applies to how we see music and life too." End of discussion. Finally, we come to the third name, perhaps the most technical, but no less disliked by Adele: David Guetta. If Adele is soul, Guetta, through her eyes, is a machine. The difference between singing from the heart and pressing play on a club beat. She stands for emotion, he stands for effect. And for Adele, music should move you, not just make you jump. The first strong reaction reportedly came during Paris Fashion Week in 2012. Both were attending an after-party. When a Guetta track came on, Adele supposedly made a face and told her assistant, "Do we have to stay here while this washing machine with a melody is playing?" A phrase that sums up her level of respect for him quite well. It doesn't get better in the studio. During a recording session, a sound engineer suggested an effect frequently used by Guetta, and Adele's response was sharp. "Please don't compare what we're doing to that assembly line music." And the final blow? When she was offered a collaboration with Guetta in 2016, her response was brutal. "I'd rather record with a real synthesizer than with someone who just presses buttons on one." But perhaps the line that made the most people laugh, or fume, came from the Glastonbury stage. When a fan asked her to sing a Guetta song, Adele, with her usual quick wit, replied, "Wrong tent, love. Here we sing live and play real instruments." Ouch! In the end, it all comes down to one thing: sincerity. Adele loves music born from pain, from truth, from a voice cracking because it's telling something real. And when she sees artists who, in her eyes, hide behind lights, effects, fakery, or strategies, she simply can't pretend it doesn't bother her. It's just not her style. So yes, Adele can come across as ruthless, but maybe it's that very bluntness that makes her unique. And who knows, maybe someday she'll change her mind. But for now, if you happen to play a Bieber, Taylor, or Guetta song in front of her, it might be better to have your headphones on. Subscribe to the channel for more videos, and let me know which of these artists is your favorite. See you next time.